Hi, I'm Stefanie Mosca. We're here at Comtel Plus in Orlando, Florida, and I'm joined today by Uri Zilberman, President of RAD Data Communications Incorporated. Uri, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for inviting me.
So why don't we talk a little bit about who RAD is?
RAD Data Communications is a company that has been established about 30 years ago. We just celebrated 30 years of doing business. And,
Congratulations.
Thank you. And we have a diversified product portfolio that fits a different segment of the market and also diversification in our market segments. But in the last, I would say 5 years or so, we've been focusing mostly on carrier Ethernet and the growth and the vision that we have in that market.
So can you elaborate a little bit on your carrier Ethernet services?
So one thing that because of being a global company, what we've noticed over the last few years in particular, is that we have markets that are driven by CapEx. Those are mostly outside of North America, or at least until now, have been outside of North America. And North America was mostly driven by OpEx, mostly because of labor costs here are very high in comparison to other places in the universe. What we've seen lately is that both markets are merging together. So CapEx market are becoming more sensitive to OpEx market, and OpEx market are becoming more sensitive to CapEx market. And that trend that we've seen over the years and our product focus trying to address both of them actually help us very much so in both market segments, because the ability to address both segments of the market has been very useful for us.
So what has been the motivation behind that making that transition for RAD?
So we were thinking about that in terms of that different market demands, right? Again, the CapEx to the OpEx trends. And we were going back to the whiteboards and thinking, is there a way for us to try to address both spectrum, right? And we decided that although it's a challenging take for any company to do that, we decided that we are going to do that. And the way we've done it is by focusing and developing our own technology. So we developed our own ASIC-based product line that allowed us to reduce significantly the capex of the product. In fact, we introduced late in 2010 Ethernet need that was about 50% of the cost of our most direct competitor. And in conjunction with that, we started to develop more and more areas that we felt that are important in terms of lowering the cost of the labor. So performance monitoring, access technology that is all-in-one, what we refer to is ability to use different modules in order to address different infrastructures. So that ability to do our own technology with the ASIC and the ability to do the all-in-one concept and have one device that can fit different applications using different infrastructures, again, allowed us to tackle both of them. And we find ourselves today with very, very strong product portfolio in that domain. And it was great for us because we see that the business is booming for us.
Great. Well, I'm glad to hear that. Now, in terms of carrier Ethernet in general, what trends do you see as being prevalent in the market today? You mentioned the CapEx to OpEx,
right.
But what else do you see going on right now?
So besides that, the one other area that is interesting to note is that two drives that are happening today in terms of the majority, the major drive in carrier Ethernet is one in the retail domain, retail carrier Ethernet, and also the mobile backhaul. And although initially, I think most vendors treated them as separate applications, what we've seen lately and the way we approach that is that they converge to becoming the same application.
Sure.
There's some fluctuation and some differences between them. So mobile backhaul maybe trends to look more in timing and synchronization and 1588 and those type of features. But besides those nuances, most of the application and most of the requirements are the same. So we decided that we'll tackle again, understanding that total cost of ownership is becoming more and more critical for the service providers. We really try to utilize and use both of those applications to capitalize on the same technology.
Now, you mentioned mobile backhaul. It's definitely been a big trend so far at Comtel this week. How would you say that RAD Data faces those challenges that are happening right now in the industry with their products?
So a lot of the mobile backhaul is moving to carry Ethernet, and that has been a very significant boost in our growth in that domain. But in addition to that, one other thing that we think is useful for RAD data communication for us is that some of the access technologies require to migrate legacy technologies and use the newer generation platforms to transport legacy services. Because RAD has been in the market for that long, and because we have those technologies in-house, in fact, we have miniatured most of those technologies, and we have them now in SFPs, we are able now to transport also legacy services over the same platform.
Sure.
So that has served us well.
Great. Well, it looks like you guys have been having a great year so far. Anything that we can look forward to in the near future from RAD?
The one new thing that we introduced actually in our booth, and people want to come and see that, we are introducing what we refer to is the first Ethernet ADM product. So it's the same topology and same concept that has been in the market for the last decade or so in terms of ADM technology. Now we have a new product which is in the Ethernet domain, and it's priced very similar to traditional ADM technologies. So that's something that we're introducing actually in this show.
Great. Well, we look forward to hearing more from RAD in the near future, and thank you so much for being here today, Uri.
Thank you so much.